So every year they're playing till June, and he extended Tim Duncan is helping on the roller. When he's open, you got to find him.
Towns against his former Kentucky Wildcat teammate.
18 in the first quarter, so shouldn't be hard for them to get a little better on track.
Towns back in, and he goes to the baseline.
Not to mention our producer Chris Withers, who produced his final game of the season the other night against the Lakers.
I want to get this straight. And Towns and
He's trending towards 10.
Uh-oh.
Number.
Yeah, 15 turnovers. That's excellent. And there's Towns.
But you know what?
Levine putting it on the floor. Towns goes up strong for the dunk.
Up to the three-point line, and if you catch it within...
Expect that, especially if they don't watch the Timberwolves that often. Karl-Anthony Towns gets free.
Bill Tibbs is one of my guys. He was my assistant coach. He used to warm me up before all the games.
Rubio pulls up, rattles out. Towns works the offensive glass and gets it to go. Fortunes around. Towns over Aldridge.
Point game, he averages 17 and a half. Rubio to Towns for 2. Yes.
A junior at Kentucky. Andrew Wiggins would be a senior at Kansas. Towns for 3, second triple of the game.
The basketball is so purely.
110-98 in the paint. No, Towns gobbles it up and scores.
Wow, that's a heck of a...
Karl-Anthony Towns that time. And there is... And that guy right there is...
Towns doing the Dirk move, and
Kings really right now out of sorts, aren't they?
Just trying to make plays that aren't there. That was a pass in a crowd that you just don't need to try.
There's Towns.
They're expecting a baby in a couple of months, and they've been kind of getting settled in here as Towns is up the floor. Towns attacks, unable to get it to go. Offensive rebound, took some contact. No, against Houston the other night. That was a season high. You're more than halfway to that number already here tonight against Sacramento. Shabazz throws up an awkward shot there to clean it up as Karl-Anthony to 6th in the month of February. But consider they started the month 0-4.
The player of the week as well. I mean,
dynamic year is rookie year.
Wow, what a pass by Rubio. Forgot about that part.
Well, Timberwolves against the Utah Jazz, it hasn't been. Whoa! That was
side. They'll play at a fast pace, understandably so, with the young talent that there's defensive intensity. He's picked up at 9-10 against the Timberwolves. Muhammad at open 3, air ball, and Towns scoops it up. Wiggins gives it up, and Towns.
Andrew gets to the rack. No, but Towns there for the putback. Overall with the Heat.
Interesting that Luke Babbitt is guarding Karl-Anthony Towns. He's going to kill nasty looking early on.
Got it against Corey Joseph and the Raptors. And a little too strong. Towns an offensive rebound. Attacks and finish. Miami's 9 of 11 from the field this quarter. Towns tries to quiet three-pointers coming into this game over the last handful. Wow, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Johnson Group, we mentioned their productivity as a pair. An elite pair off the bench in the league.
Towns offensive rebound. Rubio attacking Dragic. Towns puts it up and in.
Opportunistic. As soon as that defender turns his head, they cut.
Rubio beats Towns and Karl-Anthony. Rubio leaves it for Towns. Cat, another bucket. Towns, floater.
51 bench points in Wednesday's win over New Orleans. That's a DPT.
Towns, he can shoot, and Fareed got hit in the... Now Towns against Fareed. Towns with the big size advantage. Nuggets come late with the double action for the Timberwolves. Now Towns, that's way too deep. Basket counts foul. Tyus Jones in the lane.
Oh, it's a pass. They called the...
To halftime. Nuggets with 8 second chance points and Towns away. That in the lane, out to Tyus Jones. Swing it, Towns is loose. Two-pointer.
All third-year players, and this is Towns, guarded by Thaddeus Young. Spins on the baseline. Pacers have tied it at 7 as Towns goes inside. And field goal shooting not going well for the Pacers here early.
Well, you got to be on it because as an offensive rebounding team, this is one of the top 5 and they get the ball, so T could never control it.
Towns spotted in.
Dang in the post.
Towns.
He's shooting that. You can tell the way he's looking at it. You might have questioned a little bit, but he showed he'd come back strong.
Towns.
He's done more on the defensive end. But they start
nearly thrown out of bounds by Levine. And there's Towns. Scores. He ran all in. Towns, yeah, he walked.
He sure did.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Towns. Indiana's out rebounded Minnesota 43-31, and that's Towns.
Anytime Minnesota went on a run, Paul George had an answer.
Towns step back 3, make it 4. Huge game here the other night. A 30-point outburst for him in a 128-112 win. $50 million for the Pelicans. Towns for 3, drills it. Played. They're actually 5-7 overall, but Cousins has missed 2 games. Towns with the dunk here on the stats monitor as well as in the arena. Towns with the corner 3. Towns and Shabazz Muhammad rounding out the 5. Towns turns and fires. And the size of Gonzaga. Wow. Great sharing by the
assist last game, the whole game on 41 makes.
Passing big. He didn't realize how good of a passing big that he is. Picks. Towns off balance, and Towns looks to put Minnesota back on top in a game this season in the 3rd quarter for the Pelicans. Towns quickly the arc in the D League, which is respectable, but he's been a flamethrower since he's put on a Pelicans uniform. Karl pulls it out. Smart play. Tyus leaves it for Towns. The Heat shooting nearly 60% for the game. Towns with the offense.
As part of that 3 out of 5 stretch. Ball got away from Gorgie Jang, but it finds Karl-Anthony Towns. Lost 4 straight. They had another blown lead against the Utah Jazz.
Consistency with a young team like this.
Corner 3, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Ice cream and all of those things, but you get Barnes with a mismatch against Rubio. Forget about it. That's strong.
Karl-Anthony Towns so far. Now it's Barnes trying to hold him off out of the post. He dug in, but lead and a miscue between Curry and Williams. A 3-on-1 and nothing. Now Powell.
This is a better matchup, I think, Dwight Powell.
Finney Smith coming over to help out. Towns in the lane, still able to score, but Bielitsa, right place, right time, has the intercept back. Karl-Anthony Towns, transition lane.
Swoop is a great play. Nice cut by Towns.
Towns.
Barnes 7 out of 10 tonight, Hart. He was 56% in the last 4 games.
Man, scorching.
Towns with a drive a minute ago. Here comes D. Will. Towns stepped through the double team and hits the hook.
They allow teams to get back in games. You know, obviously Towns the hot guy.
Wow, that was some good stuff.
Now, that's called exception of Towns. Everybody else, their demeanor is really slow.
But nothing
like they're trying to do right now to Towns. It works against you, Mark, but there he is.
Blazers have won 6 in a row, 4 straight off on the road. And this will be rush tossing low, backing down. Is Towns getting his way again? He'll give it to Towns on the inline. A rather elbow. The ball batted away by Jang. Goes off of Blazer hands, controlled by Towns.
Him to go to that 1 or 2 dribble pull-up.
Rubio to Towns, who slips the screen. Got 2:17 to play in the half, giving to Brandon Rush. Back to Towns, walled off, steps by Minu and laid it in. They say they're looking at Mo Harkless's 2-point shot. Take a look at that.
The reach in from him through Towns out of rhythm just enough to allow Chief to get the block. This time,
Rubio this time makes a precise lob. Swing to Caspi, then he swings it low on the lob to Towns. May have walked, but work outside for a 3. Towns the rebound, the handoff to Rush. Blocked by Turner, but Towns opens up, gets the ball, faces up on Aminu. Towns looks left, goes right across the middle, sweeping hook up and in. Just one of the last 8. Towns comes up top, fall away 15-footer, good.
Rubio for Towns. And Cat pushes it.
The inline to Jake inside to Towns.
Slow post game.
Towns from the mid-range.
Playing in free agency.
Towns has the Timberwolves' only bucket. Towns.
We've talked about Chris Middleton bringing NBA tempo to the Bucks. Rubio does the same for Minnesota. To the left hand.
He was out with some back issues. Michael Beasley is also out, as is Mirza Teletovic. Karl-Anthony Towns.
Opportunities to just control the block and retain possession.
Towns attacking Monroe, and a feathery touch and roll.
Addition, Chris Dunn, a good defensive player out top.
Handles the basketball beautifully with the finger roll finish. Towns draws the foul, and one opportunity.
Books a jump shot. You can put it on the floor.
Bielitsa, the bounce pass entry for Towns. Rubio feeds inside for Towns. The word he used at Target Center at shoot-around the first meeting was selfish, and he said he has seen
$9. Great seats still available at bucks.com/family. Karl-Anthony Towns.
Wiggins attacking, Towns finishing. They look to expand this lead. Dunn, what a feed, stops, and then the bounce.
He started the game 4 for 5. Anthony Davis holding his ground for Karl-Anthony Towns, down by 7 in points off turnovers, down by 10 in that area, and it's even more now.
Ricky inside for Towns and the dunk.
Well, the personnel is the thing. He didn't have this kind of personnel in either New York.
Fell short. Timberwolves come up with the basketball. Towns underneath, and a nice find. Oh, what a pass and what a finish! Chris Dunn now. Harden has it taken away by Towns. Rubio trying to race down the floor, gets it right back to Cat.
Run a lot for these guys, the way they space the floor and shoot it.
How much tougher does that make them?
Was shooting 62% from the field. Again, all of those in the paint around the rim. He can do this.
It's a weapon, so he was trying to make that play.
That's Anthony. Detroit is 10. Chicago is next in action at home against Cleveland. A year in Utah, 3 years with the Pacers.
Wow.
Cutting down the lane is Towns.
I could see him cutting in the tough part.
So Minnesota now with the ball. Wiggins being played by Redick. Got it on a hop. And it's Towns against Portland. They lost that series in 6. I shuffle this roster a bit in the offseason.
I think Coach Thibodeau is going to have to go in his playbook and lead and score. That's going to make it tough.
And it depends. You got to figure they do not do well in the fourth quarter. That's certainly been the case. Here's Towns.
On the road, impressive.
Well, not a good start here. 2 straight turnovers for the Wizards. And that shot bounces in.
Towns.
Yeah, this is a team, like you said, Buck, try another 2 offense.
Father and Karl-Anthony Towns' father were chatting each other up prior to the game here at Staples Center. If you missed the very top of the broadcast, what Jim is alluding to is Towns gets double of the year. Going to add to his point total with the dunk after Ricky.
20 minutes played, he's got 23 and 11.
Gorky James. What a cut and another dunk by.
Shot clock under 10. Towns over Randall, and Karl-Anthony great on the road. But I wouldn't buy too much into that as Karl-Anthony Towns gets Rose. Towns sends it the other way, right in the, and Karl-Anthony Towns, that's his 25th straight game with a block on the other end. He gets to dunk.
You play against great players.
Levine feeds Towns, who attempts to dunk. Towns attacking and finishing. Rose has played in every game so far this season for the Knicks. Has a